All right, good afternoon, friends, and welcome to the first ever virtual meetup for Ahmedabad Tableau user group. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all, and I hope you all are staying healthy and safe. Quickly diving into the agenda for today's session, the community introduction, then I will talk about Iron Viz competition a bit, and then we'll go into the topics for today. So first one is an academician's Tableau journey that will be taken over by Dr. Gayatri, who is our panelist for today. Then we'll do taking data visualization from ordinary to eye candy. It will be taken by Himalaya. He's one of our Tableau expert. And then we'll be doing Tableau extensions. Very interesting session. This one would be taken up by Dishan Shah. He is again one of our Tableau expert and is nominated as a Tableau ambassador as well. I'm not doing the panelist introduction now. They will be introducing themselves when they will start sharing. And then we'll have our Q&A. And I will encourage you guys to post your questions on the Q&A chat box so that we can read it through and answer it on a real-time basis as well. All right, the purpose of the group. So basically, I'm a Tableau user for over past 6 years. I started this group in summers last year, May 2019 to be precise. And the purpose was to connect with the Tableau users in the Ahmedabad region and to do the knowledge sharing, tips and tricks. And we have our presence on LinkedIn, Facebook. You can search for Ahmedabad Tableau user group and you will be able to find us. I would request you guys, those who are joining us for the very first time, because it's a virtual meetup and we got an opportunity to connect with other Tableau users across the country, because in the past the meetups was held only for the Ahmedabad region and we were able to connect with only the Tableau users or enthusiasts in the Ahmedabad region. But since it's now a countrywide thing, I would encourage you guys to follow our Ahmedabad Tableau user group page on LinkedIn, Facebook. We are also on the Tableau community page, and user group, everyone know user group. The link is usergroup.tableau.com/Ahmedabad is our, if you slash Delhi, it would be Delhi user group. Mumbai, likewise, we have different Tableau user group across India. And we are also have our own Slack channel. So if you have any questions, not now, any feedback for us later also, you can do it. You can be a regular part of that Slack group, and we are having our ongoing communication there. We got some feedback from our past event, and the agenda which we have prepared is considering the feedback in mind from the last session. And when I said last session, these are all the past events we were able to host. So first one we did was in July. That was the student only session. And we were able to meet students for SAPT University, and we conducted a session for them. It was a very basic on what is Tableau Desktop, how you can start using it, what are the Tableau products. And then we did one event in September where we talked more about the 2019.2 features and why you want to visualize. And it was a working session, so we were able to showcase all the new features from 2019.2, both from the Tableau Desktop as well as from the Tableau server. The last event for the Ahmedabad Tableau user group was in November 2019, where we deep dive into the sentimental analysis using Python on Tableau. And here we are today with our agenda. But before we start with our agenda, a small Iron Viz update I would like to share. I'm not sure if you guys have participated in the Iron Viz competition. So those who have participated, the question is, where will be the next great database coming from? So Tableau has received so far 370 entries for this competition. And let me quickly show you some of the work. Hope you can see this screen. So these are all the Viz entries, and the topic was on health and wellness data. So 372 to be precise, and 86% of which were submitted by the first time participants, which is great and very encouraging. I would just click on one of the visualization, and you can look into it. But yeah, this is available on public, Tableau public, and feel free to take a look by yourself. The work shared by the Tableau users. Isn't it beautiful? The author of this is Timothy Valor. All right, that's all from your host for now. Quickly switching to our agenda and inviting Dr. Gayatri for her Tableau journey. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Chinmay. I will now share my screen. Is it okay?
Yep.
Yes.
Right. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to be talking from an academic viewpoint, my journey of learning Tableau, how from a beginner I have managed to learn and interact and to be teaching Desktop 1 fundamentals. I basically come from a university called CEPT University, more known as CEPT University, Center for Environment Planning and Technology, which focuses on understanding, designing, planning, constructing, and managing human habitats. So it teaches programs to build thoughtful professionals, and its research program basically deepens an understanding of human settlements. So we are what is known as a habitat university. The university has 5 departments: the Faculty of Architecture, the Faculty of Planning, Technology, Design, and the Faculty of Management. It's a 50-year-old university, as you can see, started in 1962. I belong to the Faculty of Management, which was established in 2013 and focuses on habitat management. The Faculty of Management has a 2-year interdisciplinary program called the Masters of Urban Management, which aspires to bring about notable changes in urban India by creating a pool of high quality professionals who are dedicated to the management of cities. Normally, management is with regards to the corporate world. Here we are talking of public sector management and management of cities, the urban local models, which is actually the need of the hour today. Students get placed in a variety of places, corporate and public sector, NGOs, academic institutions, and everybody would come back to say that, visualization is something that all the students should know with the data that is available. As a result of which, the thought of introducing a course on visualization for the students was being explored. While working towards it, looked at the Gartner Magic Quadrant for analytics and business intelligence platforms. This was the 2019 one, which shows that Microsoft and Tableau are the leaders as far as analytics and business intelligence platforms are considered. The 2020 also show Microsoft and Tableau with the gap closing down. As all of you are aware, okay, when we look at the Google Trends worldwide, we find that Tableau is much, much more compared to Power BI, which is the Microsoft product, or to some extent Google Data Studio, which has come up recently, or Qlik, or any other platform. But when we look at the India scenario, Tableau and Power BI are competing quite a lot, probably because Microsoft is a very popular operating system maybe, or a platform which is used much more in India. So in 2019 April, I started exploring which software I should select to teach my students. Should it be Power BI or Tableau? In 2019, I connected with Chinmay, who had just started the Ahmedabad Tableau user group. And of course, I explored these two, and I discovered that Tableau had a lot of options. You know, like all of you are aware, there is a Tableau Public, there is an Academics. For students, it provides a 1-year free license for them to download the Tableau desktop. Plus, there is a lot of free learning material which is available. White papers, free training videos, different learning paths. Then with Chinmay, the Tableau Ahmedabad user group, we had the Tableau for students in July 2019 at the CEPT University at the Faculty of Management. It was a very well appreciated workshop, and the workshop was extended so that the monsoon semester students learned data visualization and explored different data sets available, and they created some types of visualizations. Just an example, nothing great, simple visualizations, but they created some type of from available data. As far as my learning path was concerned, I started exploring with the e-learning, Tableau e-learning learning paths, and I explored the Desktop 1 fundamentals. It was a good journey. Did the Desktop 1 fundamentals, completed it. It's a very good course. Of course, I would only say that the time plus estimate, which it says 10 plus hours, gives you an indication that maybe it would take 10 to 15 hours. But as a fresh learner, it takes much more time than 10 to 15 hours to go through all the 108 lessons, which are very well structured. Because, you know, each one of these lessons have a module overview, they have a concept, they give you a demo, and then they make you do an activity in Tableau. So very, very well structured e-learning format that is available. So I completed this, and I got my Desktop 1 fundamentals certificate from Tableau. In addition to that, there is a small test which is to be given as a Tableau author, which I gave, and they give you a badge for Tableau authorship. Now the way ahead, which is the real testing, monsoon semester 2020, this year is going to be an online semester. There is a new batch of students who will be taught data visualization from the 17th, that is from Monday onwards. And this time's project is going to be data visualization of the COVID-19 data of their respective cities, because, you know, they are spread across the country. And I would be having Chinmay coming to teach them some advanced concepts and judging the project work that they are doing. I hope it's going to be a good exercise ahead, and the COVID-19 data hub, which Tableau is offering, will definitely give a lot of place and insights to the students to come up with something good. Yeah, so that's that. It's been a wonderful journey, and I'm learning and learning Tableau more and more as time goes on. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Now it's time for our next topic on the agenda, and which is how you can make your Tableau visualization more eye candy and more appealing. So I would like to invite Himalay for that. Himalay, over to you.
Thanks, Ina, for the warm introduction. I'm working as a data scientist at Lending Tree for the past 2 years, and I have an experience of over 2 years in Tableau. For my agenda, it's taking data visualization from ordinary to eye candy. What I mean by that is, I'll share the screen for that. Let me know if you guys can see.
Yes.
Yeah, so for that, I mean the advanced chart techniques or advanced chart tabs in Tableau. So for the first example here, we have extended bar chart. So we'll start with that. So what's an extended bar chart? It's an addition to the original bar chart that's presented in Tableau. Like we have to manipulate stuff, data preparation, and we can build like, this is a diagram which depicts extended bar chart. So we'll start with hello.
Yep.
Yep. So we'll start with how to. To create an extended bar chart, I've created this PowerPoint image, and it's easy to understand, I guess. We have extended the points out here, like you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So for Tableau, which provides our data bar charts, we have 5, 6, 7, and 8. This is a basic bar chart which Tableau provides. In addition to that, we'll provide Tableau some data from Excel by data preparation for these 1, 2, 3, 4, and 9 points, which will be an extended part of the bar chart. So as you can see on the right side of the screen, we'll calculate our 9 points based on this right hand side of the table using these formulas. So as you can see, for example, for path number 1, I have assigned x is -10 and y, here is the some formula. We'll go deep dive into that formula for that. But first we'll understand the axis, the x-axis part. So as you can see here, it's -10, -15, -15, and -10 respectively for 1 to 4 path IDs. So looking on the left hand side, you can see one path ID -10. X-axis is shifted to more towards left, so it's extended to -15. And again for the third path ID, we have -15, and the fourth path ID we have -10. And similarly, you can see for 6th and 7th, I have used normalized dimension values. The 6th and the 7th, the length of the bar chart, which will be our aggregated sales or aggregated measures, which we'll be using to plot the bar charts. And again, 8 and 9 are the same as 5 and 1, as you can see in this left hand side of the image. So for the right hand side part, we'll deep dive into the data preparation part for it. So data preparation. So how will we prepare the data? We'll aggregate all the values against each dimension. We'll calculate all the 9 coordinates, for which we have to use height, range, and min max. Remember the y axis you used VC. So in that, here n is the number of points, number of data points you have, and height is like customizable thing you can keep as 2, 3, and 4, and 5, etc. So we'll look in the Excel part of it for the data preparation. Let me know, guys, when you can see my Excel sheet.
No, we can still see your presentation.
Okay.
If you
It
can
would
do
be visible
screen
now,
share.
right? Is it
Yes.
visible now? Yep.
Yes.
So on the left hand side, we have a table of our dimensions for which we want to plot our data. Here it is like subcategories mentioned in the descending order. As you can see on the base of the measure, the sales like phones, chairs, binders, etc. on the left hand side. And we have the normalized sale for it, which we are going to use it as 6th and 7 points in our Tableau sheet, which we have used the normalized values which we saw. So for the normalized value, we have used the formula like x minus min of x by max x minus min x. It's the complicated formula, but for that we have created a table here down, the average min max. And as you can see, if I click on this column, we have seen like C3 is our sales value, B24 is our min value divided by B26 max minus min. So this is the formula I've used for the normalized sales. You can use different formulas if you have, but we have to normalize on the scale of like 1 to 100 for better understanding. So I've kept these dimensions on the basis of sales in the descending order here. I've kept height as 3.5, as you can see here. Again, that is customizable. You can edit as 5, 3, 4, anything you want. That will decide the width of the bar chart. And on the right hand side, we have our calculations, which we have seen in our presentation. X1, Y1. As you remember, X1 is minus 10, X2 is minus 30, X3 is minus 30, X4 is minus 10. And similarly, Y1 we have N into 4. So what is N here? Here is I have created the index from minus 8 to 8. So if we have 17 categories, so we have to select a range from minus n by 2 to n by 2. So if we have 17 categories, we have to select our range as minus 8 to 8. If we have 10 categories, we have to select minus 4 to 5 and so on. For easy understanding, for creating charts in Tableau for the reference part. So I've created this right hand side of the sheet based on the values stated above in the topmost columns. Here's the X1, here's the X2, X3, X4, and so on. And as we have decided, we'll use normalized value X6 and X7. Here are our normalized values, which we have created on the left hand side of the sheet. I hope we are on the same page.
Yep.
Yep. So we have created X1 to X9 and Y1 to Y9 coordinates for the bar graphs in order to form a polygon in a Tableau, because it's not easily feasible to draw a extended bar chart in Tableau. So here are our coordinates, and in order to provide it to Tableau, we have converted into a pivoted form. So for the phones, that was our first dimension. I have used as shape ID 1, as you can see here. And each phone, that is each category, would have its 8 path IDs, 9 path IDs, as we have speaked earlier, because there will be 9 date dimensions across which 9 measures has to be plotted. So here for those phones, I have minus 10 to 10. Here 6 and 7 are the normalized values, X6 and X7 for phones. And similarly, we have Y coordinates calculated from this sheet. So this is the data preparation part. It seems a bit dirty and like laborious, but it's not. If I'll share this sheet on the Slack group if anyone wants to know more about it. The formulas is listed as it is on there. So we'll now move it on the Tableau part, like how will it look in Tableau. So I'll share my Tableau screen now. So here's the blank Tableau sheet. I hope everyone can see.
Yep.
Yep. So we'll connect our data. It's an Excel sheet which will feed to our Tableau, and the name is extended bar chart in Tableau. So we have created all our 9 points for the polygon part for the data, extended data charts. And we are feeding it right into the Tableau. Um, yep. So we'll shift our pivoted form sheet here, which we have prepared it for Tableau after our data preparation stuff. So here it is, a blank sheet. All our variables, the dimensions and measures are here. So for first, we'll move, we'll select polygon from this part, as we know we have to create a polygon, like it's not readily available in Tableau. So we have selected polygon from this marks chart, and we'll drop shape ID in detail and subcategory in detail. We'll let you know why we are doing this after we have created chart. So shape ID and subcategories are here. The shape ID has like particular that there were 9 categories: phones, mobiles, accessories. So shape ID indicates that, and the subcategory is the name, like shape ID 1 resonates, phones, shape ID 2 resonates, accessories, and so on. Now we'll select path ID on the paths. Then we'll move our Y's on rows, X on columns. So here is our first polygon, or in a different term, Tableau term, it's extended bar chart. The left hand side of this chart you can see is the bar chart, normal bar chart. We have created a calculation on this left hand side part based on our Excel calculations, right? So we'll remove this headers part for now for the clearer representation. We'll move another Y on the rows part for the formation. So we'll select as dual axis. We'll select second as line chart. We'll color it down to 0. Why we have done this, introduce the second measure on the rows, the Y measures, because we have to put in like the labels onto it. So for the labels, we'll create a calculated field for it. So we can put it on our extended bar chart. So I'll create a calculation field label. As you can see, I'll maximize it so it's visible. We'll create a calculation. We'll use Windows min because minimum value for X is -30. And for that, we'll pull our subcategories. Okay. So we'll pull that label onto the labels part. We'll format it a bit. We'll select as white. We'll align it accordingly. So as you can see, we can also color it like it's like mundane right now. So it is colored with fasteners, envelopes, labels, art, supplies, paper, furnishing, and so on, our dimensions on the left hand side. So the second field, the purpose of the second field was to create that labels onto the chart because it was not readily available and we have to do some formatting. So now this is done. One part for bar chart is remaining here is we have to introduce the values as well. What is the value for fasteners, envelopes, and labels? It's quite attractive right now, but without values, it's a bit missing. Something is missing in this bar chart. So for that, we'll create another sheet. Will values subcategories. We have it now. Do it average. We'll sort it in ascending order. No, this is not coming here. Yep, it's here. The base of field and the actual sales. We have created it in ascending order. So finally in the dashboard, we'll do this. If you want to remove the labels part, you can remove it. So in order to have values here, we'll have another sheet. We have to format it a bit. So we'll select as floating. We'll remove the headers, titles from here. We'll remove the header as well. Now we have to keep this in front of here so it's like formatted enough, readable enough. That's the tricky part. The formatting part is a bit tricky, but you can manage it like on your own choice. So I'll select as white, worksheet color as none, column bending none. Yep. Yep. So here it is, our extended bar chart with values and labels assigned to it. There was a bit formatting required for labels part, but here it is with labels and values. There's another trick to it. In order to, you have like as we said on the left hand, on the right hand side, that's the original bar chart we have. On the left hand side, we have created a calculation to extend that for the beautifulness or the prettiness for the graph, for the sake of the graph. So I'll just duplicate the original sheet here. And as we speak, 6 and 7 uses the normalized values. We'll remove 6 and 7 from here. So it's the left hand side of the graph, which will look further like 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, and 9 points without 6 and 7 points. Now we'll do another thing here. We'll move actual sales and subcategory here to create our bar chart, normal bar chart here. And we'll concate both two charts to create an extended bar chart. Field, base of actual sales, that's good. We'll use average here. We'll use colors. So now in the dashboard 2, I'll have this. We'll remove the labels and this. Again, a bit formatting is required. We have to remove all the headers part. We'll remove labels as well. We'll keep this both floating so we can arrange it accordingly. So this is floating and this is floating. So now on the left, we have this. We have to select floating in front for here so we can overlap. I know you might have guessed what I'm trying to do here. The right hand side part is being appended, the original bar graph. You can obviously do some formatting here in order to fit in. Yep, that's the basic idea. One more thing missing here is the labels. Here are labels. We'll format it to a bit smaller font. So here it is formatted. Labels on the left side, right hand side with our values and normal bar chart being appended to the extended bar chart. I hope this is clear from my end. I know you have many doubts like how to do data prep and all that stuff. We'll have that Q&A in the Q&A session, and I'll share the Excel sheet as well, which can be used as a template for this extended bar chart. And other than that, that's the formatting only required for this. Okay, so this was our first type, the extraordinary, like advanced chart, taking bar chart to next level, like extended bar chart. We'll shift to our next chart, continue to our presentation. So the next chart is KPI donut chart. So what is a KPI donut chart? Donut charts are normally used in Tableau. I've seen many people using it in the Tableau public with the help of using two pie charts. But the KPI donut chart is a bit different. As you can see here, we have the indicator, like in the smart watch or the Fitbit, we have this kind of charts here. KPI indicates, of course, key performance indicator. So here we'll control the middle space for that donut chart in order to suffice this chart in Tableau. So first thing for this here is how to create this KPI donut chart. So for that, also we'll require an Excel sheet for the data preparation or for the data which we need to feed it into the Tableau. So two things are required for it. Category sort, that is number from 1 to 200. This 1 to 200 will indicate the number of, like the rings you can see here, the thin lines here. That's the count of it. If you want it more, you can select as 500 or 300 or 500, 100 as you want. The other part is the color, the true and the false. So our Excel sheet will look like this, some of this like sort. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 with true and false alternatives. So I'll share my Excel sheet as well so as to confirm, like we are using that only. So this is the Excel sheet for donut chart. As I said, category sort and color with 1 to 200 values and the true and false as alternatives used here. So this will be the data we'll be feeding into the Tableau. So we'll now switch to the Tableau part for this KPI donut chart. These are Tableau sheet. We'll use the same Tableau sheet, but we'll input another data source here. So in the data part, the Excel, we'll select our KPI donut in Tableau sheet here. I know it's a bit pacing, but that's the time limit I have. We can discuss more in the Q&A part. Yep. So our data set is inputted in the Tableau. So now first we'll select this color from Boolean to string. We'll select this Boolean to string. We'll convert this category sort from measures to dimension. As we have 1, 2, 3, 4, we don't want to use that as measures. Now we'll create a parameter for this in order to change the value, like based on our filters on whatever criteria you have. So I'll name it as KPI value, that is key performance indicator value. We'll keep the data type as float. We'll keep the default value to 0.25 and allowable values in range with minimum value as 0.1 and maximum value as 1. So as you can see, 0.121, that is 10% to 100% in terms of KPI chart. So I've created the KPI value here. And of course, we have to show parameter control in order to change our chart. So now for the visualization part, how we'll do it. So first, we'll create a calculated field for the colors. This is the most important part. So I'll use KPI color as the calculated field name here. I'll write the condition and explain it later, so it doesn't break my flow. Yep. So this calculated field is most important here. I'll try to maximize it. So we know we have in colors true and false values in the colors dimension. So if the color is true and our KPI value, the parameter into 200 is greater than equals to category sort, then we'll use the fill part. That will be known like after we visualize it. The particular field will be knowing in more detail here. For the color equals to true, but this value is not here, as you can see, then we'll mark it as gray, else white. So for now, we'll visualize it and we'll understand this in more detail after we visualize it. So also we have to create one unique identifier here in order to differentiate all our categories. So string with category sort. This is done. So for the first thing, we have to pull number of records in our rows 2 times, because for donut charts we generally require 2 pie charts. So I pull it 2 times here. We'll select this as instead of sum, we'll choose min. Similarly here, we'll choose min, minimum value for this. We'll synchronize both the axes, dual axis. Synchronize axis. We'll remove the headers from here, so we can just focus on the KPI indicator. Synchronize axis, show header is removed. I'll maximize it so it's more visible. So we'll select here pie 2 times because we'll require 2 pie charts for a donut chart. I selected pie 2 times. So for the first number of records, we'll pull 2 or 3 things here. The number of records in our size and in our angle, our unique identifier in detail, and our KPI color in color. For now, second pie chart, we'll use KPI value as all size, angles, and labels. We'll select our colors as we want. So for fill, I'll keep orange. For gray, I'll keep gray. For white, I'll keep white. Okay. Now it's almost done. I'll minimize it further for better representation. You can format it according to your requirement. So the middle circle is causing the problem. So we'll select it as white color. It seems better now. We'll format this. We'll increase its size to like 28. Yep, in orange color. Hmm. We'll keep it in percentage also because it's a key performance indicator. Yep, so here it is, our KPI value indicator, that is key performance indicator via donut chart. We can maximize and minimize value using KPI value parameter here. Uh, it's a bit slow. So on the right hand side, you can see the KPI value is approximately 42%. And here also we have selected minimum of 10%. So it will be minimum 10%, maximum we can select as 100. It's 100. Default value was 0.25, but we can select on a basis of our parameters 73%, 63%. So we'll come again to this KPI color field here. So how was it used? We'll understand it in parallel. Yep. So if color equals to true and KPI value, then we have selected as fill and we have assigned fill as the color. So these orange parts, when it satisfies the category, it will color it to orange. Otherwise, it will keep it as gray. The gray lines you can see here, it's because of this condition. Else white. The white line in between oranges and this white is this part. The KPI color calculation was used for this purpose. So far so good. Chinmay, I'm asking for your feedback now.
Yeah, this looks beautiful.
Yep. So this was a twist to a donut chart with some these lines and stuff with the indicator.
And participants, if you have any questions, feel free to use our Q&A box and raise your questions so that we can answer it. Thank you.
Yep. So this was our KPI indicator, the KPI donut chart, and moving it to our last chart right now. You can see the presentation, right?
Yes.
Okay. So last chart here for is our onion chart. So what is an onion chart? Is a chart which shows dependencies among organizations. It displays concentric circles where the items in each ring depends on the smaller rings, the inner rings of it. It's generally using the organization structure like CEO, employee, staff, like some sort of that stuff. I don't know if it's useful or not, but it's beautiful. And sometimes we have also used it in our organization just for the organization structure standpoint. Yep, so we'll move forward to how to part, like how to create this onion chart. Here are some technical big terms, polar equations, the theta and sine and cos are childhood memories. But we don't have to worry about this. We just have to remember these x and y's here. We have learned in school like x equals to r cos theta and y equals to r sine theta, distance between the polar coordinates on a polar axis in the counterclockwise direction. I know it's a bit hard to digest for you guys. It was in the school, but yeah, you just have to remember these two formulas: x equals to r cos theta and y equals to r sine theta. We'll be using this for the data preparation stuff. Okay, so that was the how to part, and our data preparation part for is using, again, we use an Excel with our paths and values, our dimensions and measures. We'll convert our measures into from degree to radian. because by default Tableau uses radians as the parameter for the circles. So we have to convert it from degree to radian using sine and cos functions. We'll use those x and y coordinates using polar equation as we mentioned, x equals to r cos theta, y equals to r sine theta, and we'll compute coordinates with radians. So quickly we'll jump onto the Excel sheet, how it look like. So it seemed it would be dangerous, but it's not. Our onion chart Tableau sheet, sorry, Excel sheet. I hope you guys can see.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so this is the sheet for onion chart in Tableau. We have selected like 5 or 6 countries here. The path indicates the degrees like 0 degree and 360 degree for reference, and the values are the measures associated with those states. So United States, India, UK, France, Germany, Brazil, and so on. So we'll use this path, zeros and 360s as our degree to radian conversions and values as our measures. We'll use that in our Tableau for calculation part to make it easy. So we'll quickly jump onto the Tableau where we will feed this sheet. Share screen. Sorry for things being messing up, but we'll use the same Tableau sheet. Just we'll input our Excel sheets in there because Tableau takes 30 or 40 seconds to load the empty sheet. Yep. So our new data source is Microsoft Excel. As obvious, we have created our data. We have prepared our data in that. We'll select onion chart in Tableau from there. Yep. So our data is loaded with our paths, circle as the states, United States, India, and so on. We'll use a blank sheet for plotting this. The first step here is to convert a path variable to bins. This is obviously for the radians part, as I earlier said, degrees to radians. Don't get into much details why it's being used. It's bit technical, the polar equations and polar coordinate stuff. So we'll name our new field as path bin and we'll keep our bin size as 1. So as you can see on the left hand side, we have created a path bin variable here. We need to create few more variables for referencing part, for the formation part, formatting part. So we'll create one index variable in which we will use index function, index -1. This is for the Tableau users, it's the easy part to understand, like we use it for the reference part. We'll use a reference value that sorry for my spelling here, so that it will help us create our data points from degrees to radians. So we'll create a reference value here. We'll use Windows max function, which will use our maximum value. And now our important part are x-axis and y-axis. As I said earlier, we'll use x cos theta, r cos theta, and r sin theta here. So we'll use our cos function for x with index our reference multiplied by pi divided by 180. This is all the calculations for degrees to radians. So don't get into this technical stuff. You can use this as a template or the formula. You can jot it down for easy understanding. Also, we'll use reference value to increase or decrease the size of our circles. I'll add this reference value here as well. I'll tell you why I have used it here. So cos, as its x-axis, we have used cos function based on our index and reference values to convert it on degree to radian scale. Similarly, we can use sine function to create our other coordinates, sine with index with pi time divided by 180 into reference value. Here we are not adding it up plus reference value, so as we can reduce or decrease the size. We'll see it further. So our x and y are ready now. So for the first thing, we are going to use polygon again, as we used in extended bar chart earlier. Now we'll use circle as details, sorry, circle as colors. We have multiple states here. As you can see on the right hand side are labels with colors. One thing to keep in mind, we have to sort in ascending order so that circles don't overlap each other. It has to be concentric. So data source is field based on our value. It's sorted in ascending order. I don't know if you remember, the Australia had minimum value, so we have sorted in such fashion. We'll now select path bin to columns just for the reference part, and we'll see the missing values are showing up or not. We'll pull that in the path section of the polygon, as we know it will create our circles over here. So we have selected it in path variable for the polygon. Now we'll move our y to columns, x to rows, and we compute it using our path bin for those concentric circles. So here is our onion chart for these 8 to 10 countries with their respective values, the concentric circles. As I said earlier, we'll do some formatting in X based on your condition. If I remove this, and maybe if I'll add bracket up here, then you'll see a noticeable change. So this we created exact concentric circles instead of that onion chart based on your requirements. If it's an organization structure you want it used for the centralized purpose of the organization, you can use this, or you can like play around with this X variable in order to decide your height and width and all that stuff. If I remove this bracket, it's again back to our onion chart. Obviously, the colors are not as beautiful as they has to be. You can like edit colors from here and assign the colors according to the country and so on. Yep, that was the last chart. So to end up on a conclusion here, so what have we learned in these charts? So the first thing was manifesting exceptional visualizations. We have created exceptional visualizations by advancing the basic types, as we know, the donut charts, pie charts, and bar charts, and adding it to another advanced level. The other thing was understanding math behind the charts. I know I'm not sure about have you understand the math behind these charts or not, but yeah, that can be learned over the time, like if you want to use on a advanced chart level or not. The third thing was data preparation for desired views. We know we have done various data preparation stuff to Excel to feed it into Tableau for different charts. Again, that can be used as a template, or maybe who knows, Tableau can add it in their next versions, the like onion charts and extended bar chart in their charts list, like deleting this data preparation stuff that is to be done by us. The last part is part to whole data analysis. Uh, for the KPI donut chart, yeah, it was used, the part to whole data analysis. So, yep, that's it from my side. Advanced charts in Tableau, taking ordinary data chart to eye candy. It was a bit quick, I guess.
Yeah, we are good on time. So thank you, Himalaya. This was really interesting stuff. I hope participants would enjoy the interesting charts shown here. Time for our next topic, which is Tableau extensions. And I would like to invite Dishant here, who would be talking on Tableau extensions.
Yeah. Hello everyone. Thanks first invite for
Dishant,
inviting
if
me
you
as a
can
speaker.
turn on your video.
Sure. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. So thanks everyone. Uh, yeah. So today is my topic is a Tableau dashboard extension. So let me introduce first to myself. I'm Dishant Shah. I have more than 5 years of experience in a BI domain, and I'm currently working with the Nine Lenses as a business intelligence analyst. And I'm very active in the Tableau community. And currently, I'm a Viz Insight Pro in a community member and also invited as a community ambassador. Waiting for the result. Let's see. Hope for the good. So moving to the agenda. So let me share my screen. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you guys have heard about the Tableau dashboard extension. If not, then don't worry. I'll explain you about the dashboard extension. So you might be having a questions, what is a Tableau dashboard extension and why Tableau introduced this dashboard extension? So, so let's see. Tableau dashboard extension is a small piece of HTML or a combination of HTML and JavaScript code which we can embed into a Tableau. So it JavaScript code, it can be communicate directionally with the dashboard and the HTML. So if you want to create such kind of I mean you can say if you want to create such kind of a small utility which can communicate between the dashboard and saving the data which we have been currently having aggregated data. So such kind of things we can do with the Tableau dashboard extension. So it can be hosted on a web server, and there are many benefits of the Tableau dashboard extensions, but we can quickly check out the three major benefits of the extension. Is one is the filling the feature gap. So let's say if we want to develop some charts which is not readily available in a Tableau, right? So we need to lot of data preparation and math calculation as we seen in earlier that Himalaya explained us. But if we do not want, if you want those chart, but those we do not want those type of calculation, then yes, we can use any HTML library which is available to develop some kind of very pretty charts like a tree map diagram, tree view diagram, we can say Sankey diagram. So those all charts, if we want to develop in a Tableau, but currently which is not Tableau providing those type of charts. But if we want to develop those charts, then yes, using Tableau dashboard extension, we can do. Another is benefit is openness. So Tableau dashboard is providing the APIs to develop the dashboard extensions. So anyone who have a knowledge of a JS and a bit of HTML, and they can start learning to start learning of a dashboard extension API, and they can make their own product, and they can sell on the extension gallery as well. So this is one more benefit over here, and the third party integration. So let's say if we want to track the user's activities, let's say if user have opened up the dashboard and user is clicking on any clicking and changing any parameters like changing the parameter, filtering out the region. So those kind of activities if you want to track, then currently it is not possible in Tableau to track those level of the activities here. So using third-party integration like Google Analytics and the extension, we can track those kind of activity as well. So here we can see. So this looks pretty, right? So this, if we want to develop this kind of chart, I don't think it will be possible. And if we can develop, but I don't think this will be this much pretty. So using extension, it will be just one click away, this kind of charts. We just need to provide the dimensions and the measure over here, and the extension will automatically, create those kind of the charts, pretty charts. Yeah. So coming on to the next topic, there are two types of the Tableau dashboard extensions we can create based on where we can host it. One is a network enable extension. So what happened in network enable extension, those extensions run on our local network, and all those security related things which we should be taken care by us. And Tableau is only allowing a secure HTTP protocol to communicate over the extension. Right. Coming to the next type, which is the sandbox extension. So sandbox extensions are, we can consider as a protected environment, which handled by Tableau, and those extensions will be hosted by Tableau only. So Tableau have created, gone through extensive testing to particular that server to avoid any kind of data theft. So we can consider as a most secure place to host the dashboard extensions. Okay. So moving to the next topic is how. So now you must be wondering how we can use the extension. So it's just simple. Even in the dashboard, if you can open up the dashboard, there will be one object panel here. In object panel, there will be one extension object. So you just need to drag and drop here, and there will be one pop-up will ask you to select the extension. So let's see how we can do that. Yeah, so this is just a basic example what we can do with the extension. So we have just drag and drop here the extension, and we have selected a TREX file, which is the manifest file of the extension, which contains the details where the extension has been hosted. See, when we select the states, it will populate a responsive table with the searchable option, right? So it's a responsive table. It's created in a Bootstrap, so it will be a responsive template. So it can be adjust the screen size according to the screen size, and it contains the state, profit, latitude, longitude. So this is just a basic example what we can achieve using the Tableau dashboard extension. So another example you can quickly go through, it's an image filter. So let's say we have some requirement that we want to filter out the Tableau dashboard using the image. So using the extension, the Tableau have created one image map filter, using which you can filter out the dashboard worksheet using the image. So let's say here we have just assigned the lion here, and when we click on the lion, the charts will be filtered out based on the lion. When we click on the cheetah, then the charts will populate accordingly. So this is some advanced level that we can achieve using the Tableau dashboard extensions. So now you might be wondering how we can develop those kind of extensions, right? So yeah, Tableau have provided very rich kind of a documentation currently available in a Tableau dashboard. So they have provided all kinds of API which is currently available. They are exposing, then they have very rich documentations available. So you can go through that. You can go through these reference link, and you can have very much dashboard kind of APIs available. So there is Tableau is also providing one manifest file. So that extension contains one manifest file. So what that manifest file contains? That manifest file contains the location of your main code JavaScript file, where it is available, and where your server is going to be up. So let's say I'm turning on the server on specific port. Let's say it's 765. Then yeah. So those all informations will be kept on the manifest file. And the Tableau dashboard extensions are supported currently with the desktop, server, and online. They are not. They have not yet given a support to the public. Yeah. So if you want, you can quickly go through the link. Yeah. So here Tableau have provided very rich kind of documents, and you can They have provided the SDK over here as well, so you can create your own extension, and they are also providing a sample. So they have provided sample libraries as well. So they have created a sample 4 to 5 extensions. So using which you can customize your code, customize any kind of requirement based on your requirement. And you can understand the code how it works. So this is all you will be finding the dashboard extension APIs over here. If you want to learn quickly how we can develop the extension. So now coming to the part how we can configure network enable extension in our local network. So first of all, we need to understand what is the purpose, why we need to configure in a local instead of Tableau is providing more secure location, right? So let's consider we are working with the healthcare data and the financial data. So those data are very sensitive data. We could not, expose over the network, even if the line is secure. But company prefers to data should not be go outside of the network. So in that case scenario, we can configure the extension in our local network as well. So let's quickly go through how we can set up the network enable extension in our local. So these are the basic requirement for the installation. You first need a Node.js, then you will need Chocolately. Chocolately is a kind of a package manager which is dependent for a Yarn, so we need to install Yarn as well. So those are a prerequisite for if you want to work with the extension, or if you want to configure extension in your local area network, then these three are a prerequisite here. So you need to configure those here. So let's say yeah. So let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's quickly go through. These are the sample APIs which Tableau have provided to user to learn the extension API. So you can download that zip from the given link that I have earlier shown. So I have currently set up all the Node.js and Chocolately and Yarn. So you just need to turn on the server. So if you can open the CMD over here, and you just need to write npm start. And your extensions which are currently given by Tableau just for a sample purpose, so those all the extension will be up for this IP. So now what if you want to use these in our dashboard? So let's say we can quickly go to the dashboard. So this is just a sample workbook which been provided by Tableau. So here you can find.
Can you switch your screen? We are not able to see the Tableau workbook.
Sure. Can you see my now screen?
Yes, now yes.
Okay. Yeah. So here is a sample workbook been provided by Tableau. So here is an object pane where you will find the extension here. So you just need to drag and drop the extension here. So it will pop up the screen to choose any extension, or you can open up the extension gallery. So extension gallery where you can find all the extensions which is provided by Tableau, or any third-party user or any company have developed those extensions. So we'll find all those extensions here. We'll come to this part. So now the extension. So we'll select my extension over here, and we'll go to the samples which been provided by Tableau. Here is the sample, and we can quickly go to the data sources extension, and here we can find the TREX file. So as I explained earlier, is the TREX file is just a manifest file which contains the details of your code and where it's currently running on which server. So we can select the TREX file over here. So it will ask for your permission. So by default, Tableau is exposing all the data, full data access to extension. So if you want your extension to run on your dashboard, then you need to give the permission to them to accessing your data. So I'm allowing them to access my data. And yes. So what it will do, it will fetch out all the data sources which are currently used by this dashboard. So how this extension can be useful, let's say I have created my dashboard and I have used 2 to 3 data sources currently in the dashboard, but I want to refresh only one data source. We cannot do without using the extension. So it will, give us the details of the data source as well, that which data source we have been used, what are the type, if it's kind of extract or a live connection, which fields we've been currently using in there, and which tables are currently used. So those kind of details you can see over here. And if you want, you can refresh over here as well. So if you click the refresh button, the dashboard will be refreshed based on the data source. It will take a little bit time. So you can see here, all those activities which we are performing on the extension will be logged out over here. It's a Node.js server. Currently I have turned on the Node.js server on 8765 port. Yeah. So here you can see all the logs which we are performing over the extension. So those all logs will be here in the Node.js server. You can see we have refreshed the dashboard. Those all logs will be here. You can see here. So coming to the workbook part. So this is just one example what we can do. So let's quickly move to demo one here. So as I explained you, if we want to filter out the dashboard using the image, so this is the one example how we can do it here. So I have used one extension over here, and I just need to set the data, like what we can call here. Let's say I'm configuring this extension over here, right? So first I have to select an image. So I have currently selected that image, right? Based on the selection of image, which category you want to filter out. So you need to select any dimension which you want to filter out. So I have selected currently a subcategory, and which worksheet going to be filtered out based on the selection action of image. So those you have to configure. So this configuration will be dependent on extension only, right? So those are the custom extensions. So the configuration will be different by extension to extension. Okay, so I have set all the categories or subcategories over here. So you just need to select the category and it will pop up which subcategory you wanted to filter. So let's say one example over here. So I have selected this as a category, subcategory, and it will pop up all values of the subcategory over here in a drop down box. It's a little bit slow. Yeah. So here I have selected as a accessories currently, but if you want, you can change it to any of the subcategories which is available in your data set. So by clicking OK, it will be affected here. So once you done with the selection, you can go to the filter part. So once you select the accessories, so all the worksheet which you have selected, it will be filtered by the accessory here, right? The same way, if you want to filter out using the lightning, then click here as a lightning. So all the subcategories with the lightning and the worksheet will be filtered over here, right? Isn't it great? So moving to the another demo. Yeah, so as we seen earlier in the second slide, how we can create a tree view chart. Just one click away, as I explained earlier. We just need to select drag and drop the extension and give the dimension over here. I have already pre-configured it to save the time, but you can select the category over here. So it will populate all the categories over here with the percentage of the dimension measure which we have configured over here, and it will give us the name of the dimension by which dimension you want to grow your tree. So currently, let's say I'm selecting segment, and in segment you will see. So in this way, we can use the extensions over here, and we can also configure or build our own extension. So coming to the PPT. Yeah. So so coming to the extension gallery. So see, Tableau have provided very much good platform for the dashboard extensions. So anyone who have a knowledge of the dashboard extension API, they can develop their own extension, and they put it into the extension gallery. So there are lots of extension currently available. So if you want, you can see. So you can see here company name by, right? So few of the extensions are paid, few of the extensions are free. So you can consider as a buy Tableau will be a free and open source, and it will be available with the code as well. So you can understand the code of that extension and modify based on your requirement. And one sign over here you can see it's in sandbox extensions, right? So as I explained earlier, those extensions are available on a sandbox. So it's an I explained earlier that it's a most secure locations, and Tableau have did an extensive testing over the server to avoid any kind of data theft and things. So we can trust those more. And if you want those extension to be configured in a local network, then as I explained the steps, you can click on any filter. Let's say I'm clicking over here. So yeah, you can download here. So it will download the TREX file. We just need to configure it over here. And if you want to install and configure on your local machine, then they have provided extension gallery over GitHub. They have provided a source code, so you can download that source code and turn on based on your local environment. So here you can see the example, right? So those are the gallery part. So let's move to the slide. Yeah. So here is the very good example, as I explained earlier, about the Google Analytics. So if you want to integrate the Google Analytics in your dashboard to track each and every activity, then we can using the extension. So let's say quickly go through this extension, how this extension works. So we have reloaded the extension over here. So currently it's an overview page open. So overview page link over in analytics here appears. Let's say we want to track events, what user is performing events. So we quickly go through events. So let's say if we are changing the order date, we are changing the profit ratio, all those activities will be logged over here. So you can see filter change, order date, filter change, region. Even if you change the parameter, then we can also track that as well here using the extension. So we need to build such kind of thing, because Tableau is exposing the API that user is performing this activity. So if you want to do anything, then you can do based on your extension logic. So this is what we can achieve using the extension. So that is all from my side. If you have any questions, then I'll happy to answer.
Thank you, Dishant. This was great. We are waiting for questions on either on Tableau extensions or visualization. The chart one wherein Himalaya presented on how you can make your visualization appealing, or eye candy. Anything panelists would like to share or address, or anything which was missed, because we still have some time. I know I have time bound you for the topics, but yeah, we have some time. So if you want to share anything now, is the time. And participants, if you have any questions, feel free to use the Q&A chat box and reach out to us, and we can address it now. Can we have a session on how we can integrate Python scripts within Tableau? This is one of the questions asked by Somnath. Somnath, we did that last time, and we explained how we can do sentiment analysis integrating Python on Tableau. But yeah, if we are interested and if more people are interested, we can plan something on integrating Python scripts. Any other question or any feedback for us or any of the panelists? Yeah, the last time presentation and material was shared on our community page. You can join our Slack channel as well. You will find our panelists there as well. Everyone is part of the community. You can raise any of your queries directly. We do help any of the participant in Q&As or any doubt clearing thing. So yeah, joining us on Slack channel would help. Yeah, I'm seeing in the chat box a couple of more people are interested in learning Python integration. So definitely we can plan a topic in our next virtual user group meetup. I hope for the next few months it would be virtual only. We really want to meet face to face, but because of the current situation, that is what we can do. Is there any session planned on Tableau server administration part? Nothing planned as we speak, but if there is an interest, so basically we take the feedback from you guys from the today's meetup, and when we are planning our next meetup, we keep this feedback in mind, and that's how we design our next session's agenda. So Tableau server administration is something, if you are interested, we can definitely plan for it. I missed the session done by Himalaya. If this meeting is being recorded, please share the link. Definitely, we'll share the link. We'll share the link on a couple of places. So let me repeat myself. We are on LinkedIn. You can search Ahmedabad Tableau user, and you will be able to find us on LinkedIn. We are also on Facebook with the same name. And then we have our community page with the Ahmedabad Tableau user group name. We are on Slack. I send the invitation link on this chat as well for the participants. You can join us using that Slack invitation, and we'll be sharing today's presentation on Slack as well. Next question is there a way to color a data table containing different measures based on other measures not included in the data table? There are more than 4 measures.
Maybe based on parameter value.
Yeah.
Not exactly understood the question, but it seems like that.
Any other question? It was a good session with new insights. Thank you, Pranav sir. And there is a doorbell. Give me a minute here. Himalaya, if you can see any other question, you can.
Yeah, sure. Also, if anyone's interested in the extended bar chart or the extensions of Tableau part, I have shared a Tableau link which contains both extended bar chart as well as extensions part. You can follow that. It's an inspiration. That guy I've shared in the chat part. Sowing seeds in America is the Tableau link or the Tableau dashboard. It contains both Tableau extensions and Tableau extended bar chart.
Yeah, I'll be uploading all the slides and the recording as well. Give me a day. I will upload everything by Saturday or maximum by Sunday. All right. I think we are good here. Last call for any other question. Thank you all the panelists. Really appreciate your support and conducting this meetup for our community. Thank you very much. Thank you all the participants for your time today and joining us. See you in our next upcoming virtual meetup. Stay tuned on all our user group on LinkedIn, Facebook, and on our community page. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks
Stay
everyone.
safe, stay healthy.
Thanks.